Hello, everyone, and welcome to Believe in the Dallas Cowboys, a live edition.
Yeah.
A live edition, because the radio station where your boy works is not live right now because it's the day after Thanksgiving. But if you like wonky, crazy ass radio, we are replaying Free Fall 2, where you'll hear me do 13 hours of radio because I can't win an effing game and get sent home. So have fun with that. Cowboys smoked the Commanders. I'm Jeff Cavanaugh. Hello. Jesse, I have to clear something with you before I play any more audio, though, because there was one guy in the comments on my YouTube page, and he said, Jesse is so much more than one play, and you can tell he doesn't like when you play that stupid play.
I absolutely love when you play that stupid play because anytime I can be remembered for anything, and he's right, I am more than one play, but I really, really, really love that play. So play it.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
All right. Well, we're off and running, and we're brought to you by our friends at Bet Online. Holiday season's off and rolling. NFL full stride. NBA, NHL hitting mid-season form. Bet Online, your number one destination for all your sports wagering info. Listen, don't be risking more than you can afford to lose, okay? That's how we do the gambling thing. We be responsible.
Don't
the
spend
Cowboys
Christmas money. Don't spend all that Christmas money unless you're betting on the Cowboys at home.
Boy, they just keep covering the spread. But yeah, Bet Online, not just the big four. They've got everything at your fingertips, desktop or mobile, anytime, almost any sport that's played, MMA, international soccer, whatever. Head to Bet Online today. Use our promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on the first deposit. It's Bet Online where the game starts. Whee! Oh, look at this. We got chats already going. We got things already happening. Oh, I do need to change a setting. So, Jesse, talk for 12 seconds. Say words to people.
Oh, well, I have 12 seconds. Let me remind you all this. Now that we're past Thanksgiving, we are on to Christmas. And I know that Jeff loves Mariah Carey, one of his favorite artists of all time. So you can play as many songs as you can with her. But this is also the season where we get ready and get donations for Holly's Helping Hands. So remember, if you're looking to where to put a couple dollars at this holiday season, feel free to head over to my page. The link is in the bio, or email me at Holly's, HOLLEYS, helping, HELPING, hands, HANDS at gmail.com. I'll give you more information about that. We're partnering again with Sharing Life. We did about $7,000 in gifts, toys last year. And while I love Sharing Life, it's because they have the opportunity to help people and children in need, but they don't take away the dignity of the parents who just aren't able to. And I love that about them. So, yeah.
We love it. We love it. Okay, so Cowboys 45, Commanders 10. This is a rare live edition of Believe in the Dallas Cowboys where you can let me see that mug. Jesse, let me see that mug. You got unfiltered with Jesse Holly mugs?
I do.
We
do.
You son of a.
We do.
Which means you can fire in questions. Super chats will help Jesse buy new slippers or something, and things of that nature. Here's the first thing that I have to acknowledge, because it became my favorite thing in sports when I realized that it existed last year or the year before. I don't remember when, but I would like to congratulate CeeDee Lamb. Dak, you be patient. Micah, you be patient. DaRon, you be patient. I want to congratulate CeeDee Lamb on an octopus. CeeDee did the octopus, and that's big. You don't get a lot of octopuses in an NFL game.
What is an octopus?
Okay, so the octopus. How many legs does an octopus have?
8.
Okay. When CeeDee Lamb scored a touchdown, how many points was that?
6.
When CeeDee caught the 2-point conversion for that touchdown, how many points was that?
That's 8.
That's an NFL octopus.
No.
That man got all 8. All 8. Nobody got a piece of it. Just CeeDee.
I got it. I was like, wait a second. What's it? I've never heard of octopus before. All right. Okay.
I think I heard about it when maybe Dalton Schultz had it in the preseason last year. It was the first time I saw that term, and I just went, I love that. The octopus is good. We like the octopus. Ecuador man wants to know, Jeff, are you going to be on KT's About Them Cowboys? I don't know. That's not a Jeff decision, although it would be once he asked, because I don't know if I'll get to. It depends what time they're recording and all that stuff. So, yes, we're excited about the octopus, and we're excited about the Cowboys just beating the brakes off of everybody that's in their way. because the alternative to beating the brakes off of everybody that's in your way is a stumble drunk, and we can't afford a stumble drunk. So congratulations to the Cowboys for doing what you're supposed to do and then some. It's very nice. It's very nice.
I mean, the Cowboys team right now, they're playing a brand of football, and I know what the narrative is, right? I've tuned in this morning on some of the national shows, and the repeat narrative is always going to be, well, the Cowboys aren't playing anybody. But I'll say this. You can only play who's in front of you and who puts on the schedule, right? This isn't like you're going down to the local YMCA and say, I'm going to play him next or I'm play them next. You play who's in front of you. But I will say this. They are doing what superior teams are supposed to do to inferior teams. And I can say that and I know that football is a weird lady, and I've said that on many occasions, but if we're going apples for apples and oranges for oranges, the same teams that we're beating the dog piss out of, those other teams that you may quantify or feel as if they are better than the Cowboys aren't. They're winning, but they aren't winning in the fashion of which we're winning. And for whatever reason, that sometimes gets missed, that sometimes get deliberately ignored, but it is what it is. And 45-10 is what the results were supposed to be. I said in all my shows coming up this week, I said this was a time where the pass rush should get home, the pressure should get home, and you should make Sam Howell feel really uncomfortable, and the turnovers will come. They sacked him 4 times. He had 1 interception. We'll get into that interception later on. But those things were transpiring. And a lot of times, even though the results was a blowout results, it kind of took a little bit to get to that point. Most people, you have to understand, like, that's the NFL. Like, this is not college football, right? There's no 25 and 30-point favorites in a football game in the NFL. So even though it ended, it didn't start like that, it ended like that because those teams play high-level football as well and have really good players. But at the end of the result, a 35-point victory, I'll take any day, and twice on Thanksgiving if you give it to me.
So that's why I'm big on sample sizes in football. They only play 17 of them. So already, if you're trying to decide something about a team and make like these definitive statements, it's hard because our sample sizes aren't big to begin with, but you just get the biggest one that you can. And the biggest one that you can tells you that the Dallas Cowboys right now, I had to wait until my nerd friends update it. But going into this game, you had one of them was third, one was fourth. You were top 4 in offense and defense in the NFL. The Cowboys have one of the best teams in the NFL. Tony Romo was throwing out the word Super Bowl over and over during the game yesterday, and I agree with him. Now, we will have a challenge with that because the challenge is while you have played on the whole better football than maybe anyone in the NFC, it doesn't matter if you end up as a wild card team, and it'll be a really hard road to try to get the job done, but you've got a really good football team. You have a really good football team that could absolutely go to and win the Super Bowl. It would be a lot easier if football God wasn't an Eagles fan this year because they played about 4 games that are coin flips, and they keep coming up heads for them. It would be easier on a different path, and it doesn't mean that you're going to win it, but is your team good enough to win the Super Bowl? Absolutely, positively, 100%. Top 5 defense, quarterback playing like an MVP candidate, top 5 offense, offensive line that is they're getting the job done.
Yeah.
I won't put them way up, but they're not a weakness. Like, this team is built for it. It's just a matter of, can we get some help? What you need, and this sucks, is you needed to score from the 6-yard line against Philly because you didn't, we need some help.
Yeah.
You really need Philly to go on a 3-game losing streak. Their next 2, and then that's what you need to happen. Otherwise, this is going to be a long, hard road for the Cowboys to do what we'd like to see them do.
Yeah, but again, you can only, you've forfeited the opportunity to control your destiny as far as winning the division, right? We have to concede that that's just the nature of the beast right now. And so what you have to do going forward is next week, you got rid of this game against the Commanders. Next week, you got to get ready and go play the Seattle Seahawks. Can't stumble against them, right? They're in the NFC. Cannot have a stumbling block against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I know, I get it. This stretch is a tough stretch. 12 games in 3 games, in 12 days. But you got to go out there and you got to continue to prove week in and week out that not even prove, but put yourself in a position that if the stumbling blocks happen on the other end, that you're in prime position to take over. Because it does you no good if Philly or the Niners begin to stumble and you stumble as well. Then y'all all are stumbling, bumbling in the same place, and you still end up at the end of the day where you're at. But, just to dive into this game more, it was one of those games where there were so many good things that happened in this football game that I was thoroughly impressed with. Dak had he probably had two of the best throws. One is a completion, one wasn't a completion, that I've seen a quarterback throw all year.
Both Ferguson's?
Both to Ferguson. He threw two seam throws. Now, I will say this. There was a part of me on the second Ferg seam throw that I go, okay, you got to look. I call that an arrogant throw, feeling yourself, heater a little bit.
Plus, you're not the one who has to take the hit.
Not take the hit, but like most of the time I go, it's a great throw, and I would have loved for it to be completed, but it's like, that throw maybe shouldn't go there. Three guys standing around him. Like you have zero room for error. And if we've seen that go the opposite end, but he had two of the most beautiful throws I've literally seen any quarterback throw this year. Now, granted, don't people come to me and be like, well, I haven't seen all the quarterback throws, but those were two of the best that I've seen out of the quarterback throws that I've seen this year.
Yeah, he's playing really, 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 really good quarterback. And they did a really nice job giving him time last night, which hadn't been the case all year. I guess Washington's really the one who did you a favor by trading away their good pass rushers. But yeah, he had time. He was making the throws. Brandon Cooks is a part of things now. They, they've got multiple weapons. They ran the ball well. Pollard looked, I think, probably the best he's looked this year. Like he may just be coming along from, hey, I snapped my leg in half. Hold on, man, I'm coming. Just keep giving me time. That all looked really, really good. Offensively, the Cowboys look really, really good. And then you go to defense, where the two things that are like the most predictable, DaRon Bland, okay? Congratulations. NFL record. 5 pick sixes in a season. And when he picked the one off yesterday, and Nance said something about this is history after he caught it, I was like, hold on now, Jim. He has work to do on this one. This ain't gonna be a sprint. And when I saw that he was gonna have to like avoid or break multiple tackles, I was like, oh, he ain't gonna make it. DaRon Bland didn't give a damn. He was scoring because he knew, and he was like, you don't know if I'm gonna get another crack at this. I'm about to break tackles. This is happening. I'm going. So that one was awesome.
Yeah, I know that was. And Nance was like, oh, this is history. If he can get it. So it was like, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to see. But yeah, he had work to do, and you can tell he had determination set in his mind that he was getting in the end zone for that 5th record-breaking pick 6 of the season. And that's just, as we're giving credit to DaRon Bland, we got to give some credit to DaRon Bland's coach. Al Harris has been putting in major work. When you think about what he's done with Trayvon Diggs, think about what he's done with DaRon Bland, and just the plethora of guys that you've just been able to go out there and work with, that whole secondary stuff like that, man. He's done a fantastic job, and this may be another one of those guys where, they've come to Dallas, they built their cachet up a little bit, and now they'll go be a defensive coordinator somewhere or take a bigger position somewhere else. But Al Harris deserves a little bit of a golf clap for what he's been able to do with the DBs and that defensive back room.
I think there's probably also something to be said about the fact that the Cowboys pass rush is so good and consistent that DaRon knows that risk, because most of these are just aggressively playing stop routes, drag routes, out routes, whatever, where it's like, I know with the defense I'm on, I can jump the hell out of this because there is not going to be time for a scramble drill afterwards. There's not going to be time for him to turn it upfield. That ball's coming, and I am going. And it's all working very well, and we like it. Ecuador man is in the super chat. You guys take the boys over San Francisco or Philly, both better in my opinion. Look, I've mapped this thing out. Here's the way this is going to happen. Likely, which doesn't mean anything. If Philly loses 3 in a row and then another game somewhere else, you could win the division, maybe. Likely what's going to happen is you got to beat Seattle. Beat them not only to keep yourself alive with your record, but to push them further down, because the Cowboys do have a tough stretch that's coming up. And what I got to be, if I do not win the NFC East, what I got to be is the 5 seed.
Yeah.
Because I got to play the winner of the NFC South.
Right.
Going on the road to New Orleans to start the playoffs? Yes, please.
I like that a lot.
And not only that, currently the 1 seed is the Eagles. So here's what I can do. Because you could say you think the Eagles are better. They beat them the one time they played, whatever. We'll find out in 2 weeks. I think the Cowboys will beat them at home. I don't think the Cowboys fear the Eagles. I think they think they can beat the Eagles. I think everything about watching those two teams play says, I don't know, they're pretty equal. So I don't fear them. Fear is the wrong word because I don't have to play, but I do fear San Francisco. Like, I've seen it enough. I've seen enough to where you could go, that one might just be, you know what? That matchup sucks. That's not a good matchup. So we get the 5 seed, go to New Orleans, win by 30, move on with your day. Then you need chalk to hold up so that you're the lowest seed left. You need 2 and 3 to win. So that way somebody else can try to knock off San Francisco for you. Let Detroit try to do it. In the first round too, let whatever other wild card team have a shot at them. And when that doesn't work out, let Detroit have a shot at them. And let me go to Philadelphia. Let me see if somebody else can do that for me. I'll handle Philly. Somebody else handle San Francisco. And then that would be great. But more than likely, you have to go through all of them. But I have drawn up my dream, which is just to avoid them because I'm a coward. That's how I roll.
Listen, it's not a. I don't want to call you a coward, but I think if you hooked some of these players up to a lie detector test and you ask them about playing 49ers in the, it's going to come back to their line. No, they do not want to play. Coaches, players, and the competitive spirit is there. I get it. You want to. They don't, and that's just a team. When you look at it, they have a style that just it matches what you do. Styles make fight. That is a style that they have in the 49ers, where they have at every single level they can compete with you. Defensive line, and then of course they added Chase Young and they added Randy Gregory, and take that for whatever you want, but that's a rotational piece that you don't get a break from because those guys are constantly coming at you. Then of course the linebackers and then the secondary. Now they were out Hufanga. But we'll see. I mean, but that's down the road. That is down the road. We have stuff ahead of us. But that game yesterday, I will say the Cowboys finally, at no point in time in this season, had the Cowboys given up. Coming into the game yesterday, the Cowboys had not given up a 300-yard passer, a 100-yard rusher, or a 100-yard receiver at all during the season. Well, 2 out of those things happened yesterday. Curtis Samuels had 9 catches for 100 yards yesterday, and Sam Howell had a 300-yard passing game. So they're still holding rushers under 100 rushing yards. So there has not been a single rusher that has rushed for over 100 yards against the Cowboys this year.
Man, I think that goes to show you that, fortunately, in today's world, we have better ways to measure how people played than just yards. Like, Sam Howell leads the NFL in passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
And it got you 10 points. Congrats on your 300 yards. But if you can't convert 3rd and 4th downs, and if you can't get the ball in the end zone, congrats on your passing yards. But it's not that he didn't play well.
Right.
You get stuffed on a couple of 1-yard 4th down to goes. Things work against you sometimes. I don't think Sam Howell played a bad football game, but there's a difference in how many yards you got and how well you gave your team a chance to score points.
Yeah, I think Eric Bieniemy helped Sam Howell in some of those situations with his play calling and the things that he decided to run on those 3rd shorts and 4th and shorts. And this is not me capping for Sam Howell because he's a Tar Heel, but go Heels. But I will say this about the Commanders, if I'm giving a little bit of credit there. They fired Jack Del Rio and their DB's coach today, right? It's crazy. Trade away 2 of our best pass rushers, and then, whatever. You talked about it earlier about the Cowboys. What makes the secondary pretty good? having a really good rush defense. Well, they traded away 2 of those guys, and they decided to fire Jack Del Rio. And I've always wondered how those conversations go. Like, because as a coach, you went out and you hired Jack Del Rio. Like, you went and hired him, and I'm sure there's some sort of relationship there. Then it comes to a point in time, it's like Jack Del Rio like looks at Ron Rivera and go, "Mother bleep, 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 bleep. This is your fault." Like, or they're just like, you know what? Hey, brother, we'll pay the rest of your salary for the rest of the year, but see you later. I always wonder how those conversations go. They need to do that on Hard Knocks next time. Like,
it would be great because I also I want to see how the one went with when the Bills a week ago fired Ken Dorsey.
Yeah.
Like when Ken Dorsey pulls out just a little quick printout of things that I saw about Ken Dorsey and the Bills, where it's like, hold on, I'm running the offense that 3 years in a row has not just made the postseason, but won a postseason game, been a top 5 offense every year. And that run of 3 straight years of making the playoffs and winning a playoff game is something that I believe it was Drew Brees has only done once. Aaron Rodgers has only done once. Ben Roethlisberger never did it. But my offense and our guys have, and you're just going to fire. It's like, if you hit a hiccup, but your expectations were up here, they just have to fire somebody because they're like, oh, it must not be good enough. Like, the Bills are still going to make the playoffs. It's going to happen. Get ready. But they just had to fire somebody. I wondered if Rivera was going to get fired this week. I wondered that this week on radio, where it was just like, look, you can't lose twice to the Giants in a season when they're that version of the Giants. You can't do it. But no, I think it's like in that meeting, do you think Ron Rivera is super honest? Because he strikes me as like a man of integrity. So I bet he was just like, look, they said I had to fire somebody. I'm gonna be 2 months behind you.
Yeah.
So I love you. It's just they said I had to fire somebody, and I don't want to go home. So you got to go home.
And Jack, I mean, if anybody understands, I think Jack Del Rio understands because he was once a head coach, so he understands what that conversation has to be about. So I'm thinking they probably were like, hey, come out of my office. And Jack Del Rio knew on the way, like, this is it. Yeah. This is it. And he walks in and he goes,
I'm the GOAT, huh?
This is it. Yeah, it's me, huh? Yeah. It's you.
Well, it couldn't be EB. He's new and he makes a lot of money.
Right. It's like, I can't run the offense. You can't run the offense. So if we fire him, what the hell are we gonna do? Right? It's gonna get even worse. So, better you than me. But I'll probably be with you in a couple of weeks. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But he's probably like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah.
Maybe we could go somewhere together. Just go to the house. I'll be right behind you.
It's kind of like almost, I'm going to give you a head start. Maybe you go find you a head coaching job, and then you can hire me when they fire me. Like, I can, in reverse. Like how I did you can now look out for me on the back end.
That would be good. Truth only. We have to slay the dragon, Jeff. See, that's the difference in people as sports, either fans or players. Because I was the same way as a player. I would hope to draw the worst DB. I did not want to go against the best DB because I'd be like, I don't know, man. He's like really good. I can't really get off the press. I'm kind of skinny. Like he likes to play press. Give me a dude that likes to play off and is their worst DB. Let me wrap that dude up. I want the easiest path to victory at all times. And I get it. There's people who we're going to beat them. Then we're going to beat Philly. Then we're going to beat San Francisco. And then we want Mahomes. I want to leave no doubt. Okay, well, I have a tattoo of the Texas Rangers on my ass. And I have it because, thank God, the Diamondbacks made the World Series. I didn't want the Phillies. I didn't want the Dodgers. I didn't want the Braves. We got the team I wanted because getting that team made me feel like we're going to win the World Series. And you don't get to take the trophy back. I don't need to slay any dragon. Please let who's going to be the 7 seed? Let Green Bay sneak in and beat San Francisco. Do it. That'd be great.
That would be great.
Give me the easiest route ever.
That would be great.
Like Jesse played in North Carolina and then the NFL. He might have really liked playing against the best. I want that dude to be on a limp ankle. I want him to be hurt.
I'm with you. Like, I'm a competitor as the next person, but if you're telling me the path to winning this chip didn't have to have, whatever it is in front of you and a top-rated Michigan State team and a top-rated Illinois team, nah. If you would have gave me the 16th seed in the championship, hey, I'll take it.
And their best player just tested positive for COVID. Oh, darn.
Shoot, man. If you would have told me 2 years ago when we played in the Final Four that we could have had someone else other than Kansas, I would have taken it. But we got Kansas and we lost the game in the second half because our best player hurt his ankle.
We like it.
Yeah.
Vance, in the super chat, Vance is you're a hero around these parts. I want you to know that. A legend, if you will.
Yes.
Most important question asked today. Mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. A given or a white people thing?
It's not a given, and it's not an only white person thing, because I've been in some places where mashed potatoes are there, but it's not a given. Everybody doesn't do it. Because you already have a ton of starches already, right? You're talking about your yams or sweet potatoes, however you want to, have those, and then you have your stuffings or dressings. So you're starting at your cornbread, your Hawaiian rolls. You're starting at those starches are starting to add up there. So, I'm gonna say it's somewhere in between. It's not a given, and it's not only a white thing. Now, green bean casserole, that's a white thing.
We had green bean casserole.
Yeah. There's no green bean casserole at my house.
We also had green beans because my mom knows I'm not eating green bean casserole. So she just makes green beans also. So we had double green bean. My plate was literally turkey, gravy, rolls, green beans, corn, the end.
It never ceases to amaze me. You really do have did you set the kids table as well?
You know what? Check this out. I might as well have. There's only 1, 2, 3. There's only 6 people at Thanksgiving. But check this out. My mom also knew that I was going to make miniature turkey sandwiches with gravy on them. So she handed me a slice of cheese to fold up to be able to cheese up each little roll. I'm a child. Trace, hey, y'all are awesome. Thanks, Jeff. You think that other butt cheek has room for a Cowboys star on it if they can get it done?
Ooh.
I learned my lesson, man. Because did I think the Rangers were going to win when I said I would get that tattoo if they did? No, I didn't. That's why I said it. Do I think the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl? No, I don't. Are they good enough? Sure. But I think the path will be too hard and the odds are against you. Am I so confident that they won't that I'm willing to risk my other cheek?
I think you might have to go ahead and be double cheeked up. I think you got to be double cheeked up and go for it. What's the worst that can happen?
You end up looking like the psycho fan.
Yeah.
There's going to be a girl one day that I can explain away the Ranger one. Like, look, there's this really funny thing that happened in the clubhouse when they were 8 wins away. And I was like, but it's like, okay, but once you had that one, how did you mess up to get the second one? It's like,
I doubled down, baby. I doubled down. And this is just, if the Cowboys win a Super Bowl this year, it will be just as historic, if not more historic, than the Rangers win the Super Bowl. Those are, you talk about icebreakers.
It won't be more historic.
It won't be.
It won't be more. Listen, just because more people care about the Cowboys a lot more, it won't be more historic. You won one in 1995-6. The Rangers have been here since 72, hadn't won an effing thing.
Okay. All right.
Back off.
You're right. But talk about an icebreaker.
Yeah. I had.
So how many tattoos you have? You go 2. And I go, oh, where? On your arm? No. Your chest? No. Your back? Mm-mm.
Lower.
Yeah. Think about your thigh? Nah. The old double cheeked up.
Cheeks.
Right? Double cheeked up. Cowboys, Rangers. I'm just saying, man. Might not be a bad thing.
Stevie said Jeff sold his butt cheek for a championship. I did, and I was happy to do that one. I did that for all Ranger fans. Cowboy fans, y'all have had, a lot of you watching have had at least 3. I'm not putting my butt on the line for you. I don't think. Check in later.
I don't know, man. I think that would be. I think that would you go down in history. You go down in history. In history. Think about that for a second.
Okay. All right.
Think about it.
Stay tuned in. I'm not saying no.
Stay tuned in. Listen.
I'm not saying no.
Fans, and this is a huge pause moment. I'm gonna work on Jeff getting the cheeks right. I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge pause moment. Pause. But
I wish I would have just done bits with my butt. Like left cheek says clap, right cheek says these. Like clap these. I don't know. I wish I would have done more.
You don't want anyone clapping your cheeks. What are you talking about? What are you talking
You got to have fun in the world. You got to make people laugh.
You want to clap these, but you don't want to get a Cowboys tattoo on your back.
Okay, multiple people are asking about Shaq Leonard, but Jesse just left. Something shut down. That's unfortunate. I'll do Shaq Leonard real fast with Jesse's blank over there. Shaq Leonard, when you get moved off of the nickel, which is when you have two linebackers out there, when it's third down, third and long and all that, and then you start losing some snaps also in base. Generally, what's happening here is that you're not what you were, right? Now, the Cowboys do have Rashaan Evans playing snaps. They do have a need there for depth at the very least. So am I interested in Shaq Leonard? Sure. If he wants to come play for the Cowboys because he thinks they got a chance to win this thing and it's on the cheap. But if you think that it's going to be some sort of big old upgrade that's going to bring you an all-pro or make this team infinitely better, I don't know that he would take snaps from either Damone Clark, definitely not from Marquise Bell. Marquise Bell is playing better football. So that's that. Bye, Jesse. Bye, everybody. All right. So thanks for stopping by. It was good to see you guys. And remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through. So be cool to everyone. I love you. Be easy.